on a new adventure.
They've asked for the setup, so they're going to run with it regardless.
Giant's got to be careful. El Misho has the stun. They're going to deploy it. That should be a relatively easy first blood, or maybe not. Earth Spike comes in. Bound the Strike follows. And it is first blood, just not quite the way that I thought. DNM sort of snatches that one out at the very end. El Misho is still able to finish off Giant.
Yeah, and El Misho, he really likes doing this. Every single time he gets himself on the 6th Assassin, he always goes for those early points of mana, but yeah.
Stuck in the tether that whole time, so Pingu and Valky just kept on sort of hacking away at him. They very nearly get the kill onto the IO, but this is a bit of the problem with that position 1 Tiny, at least this early. You don't have too many points up, actually, in that Avalanche Toss combo from RDO. The number of spaces that 4Gringos can safely sort of position themselves to take that fight is really low. And they just have to hope for the best, though, as they push their way forward. Analog is the closest target, but they're not going to run into him. Vitaly, though, hit up by the Boundless Strike, and they are going to try and pull him back in. Good play from El Misho, though, trying to get in there for the stun with the Carapace, but it still leaves Vitaly trapped up in the middle of everyone. Giant even throwing down the Finger of Death just to make sure that they would have the damage, but they do get the kill, and all important there, one there onto Vitaly.
And all importantly, gets with the Haste Rune.
That same play coming out again. The BKB is deployed afterwards, but I'm not sure that's going to be enough. They need the vision. They do have it. Analog could get caught here. That would be a big lasso play, and they've got it. They're going to pull the Invoker back in. They've got the damage to bring him down, but now RDO into the fight. There's going to be the Avatos coming through. They trade out for Giant. Now they want Pingu as well. He's looking for the relocate home, and he is not going to be able to make it. RDO, with the tree toss, will find that kill. And 4Gringos are going to have to fall back, but that was honestly a big pickoff there onto the Invoker, and they only lose the 2 supports in exchange. With this 4-man smoke play, it looks like he is going to get himself a little bit more involved here. We'll see what they can find in the top lane. Everyone on the side of 4Gringos is here, so this could get nasty as Kits is going to get jumped in on right away. Can they lock him down? Not quite yet. That's a big stun out from Giant into the roar from Valky, really keeping this lineup locked in place. Now, they do deploy the lasso. It's not going to be able to save Kits, but it does get the kill onto RDO. Vitaly dropping low as well, and Hokori have to fall back. Analog is going to be able to get away with the invis. Gardic, though, not quite as fortunate as they do use that dive bomb from the Hawk to get the stun and the kill. And now they've actually locked down El Misho as well, but at that point, he's a little bit too far away for them to chase. But that fight, again, more of what 4Gringos want. You have to sacrifice Kits, but the 3-for-1 gets them the win, and presumably the tower here as well.
The Tiny just takes it out in less than 15 seconds and keep on the jump on Analog.
They're in. They get the dive bomb from the Hawk there as well, into the relocate, into the Boundless Strike, and they've got Analog dead. Quick pick off for them. They're going to look for El Misho now as well, as the Nyx Assassin, well, gets away initially there with the Carapace, but the Flame Break is going to knock him back. Kits should have the vision with that, with that gem, and they've got him. They pick off both. That is a massive play in from Giant.
There's no Blink Daggers, there's no Force Staffs, there's no Aether Lenses. It feels like they have to be so close to each other on the Hokori side, while 4Gringos have such long reach whenever these fights actually happen. And they're smoking out on the Aegis.
KBs, though, so they want it. The Aegis timer is going to time out. Kits, though, tries to go in for the lasso, but he's immediately stunned up by the Carapace. There's going to be the Wukong's command thrown out, though, and look at Giant in with the Earth Spike onto about 3 or 4, but they'll still lose Kits. Giant goes down as well. RDO, with that alacrity, is really dishing out the damage, but he's still fighting inside of that Wukong's command, and DNM is going to win that fight pretty much every time, as Vitaly now gets stunned up by the Hawk. A second dive bomb comes through to make sure he stays stunned. And that leaves Analog and Gardic to try and make their escape. The Finger of Death from Giant wasn't enough for the kill, so Analog does have a chance to get himself away here. But with DNM coming in, this is going to get complicated. Bound the Strike will miss, though. And Analog is still on the run, looking for that TP out now. He has used the Ghost Walk, and DNM, well, he used the Bound the Strike previously. He doesn't have it available there. Get the stuns in as Kits. Flame Break is a little bit off the first time. The second time it hits the Carapace. El Misho, at this point, though, isn't getting away. This is really just, his death stand there as he does get picked off. Pingu is going to be able to get the kill, but...
In bottom.
Oh, they want to relocate. They're in onto Analog. They spotted him coming in. Giant gets a stun down. There's going to be the lasso into the Finger of Death. Vitaly can't get there in time. That Lotus is not going to do any good as Analog... Actually, he popped the BKB, but Pingu gets him with the right click, but now they're trying to force this into a fight. Valky, though, comes in with the roar. This is getting a little bit complicated, and now DNM pops that Wukong's command. RDO has to step out of it, but that means Vitaly is stuck inside with Gardic. They'll both fall. And the Tiny's the only survivor as he'll TP home. Hokori are just really unknowingly wandering directly into the line of fire in a lot of these fights. You need to be able to do something else with this as they smoked, but I think that Hawk may have just spotted it. Giant certainly will. Look at that blink, getting himself away, and Hokori, they don't want to deal with that, but now DNM, he's straight in there with the BKB. He just killed off Gardic right away. The Roar now locks down Analog, and Hokori are just going to get basically wiped out here as Kits goes in for the lasso, pulling the Tiny back into the ring, or at least attempting to. Not actually able to do it, though, but RDO now gets pushed back by the Flame Break into that Boundless Strike, but now the Wukong's command actually runs out of time, but RDO will still fall. Valky gets the kill with the Wild Axes. Gardic tries for the Fiend's Grip, but tries is kind of the operative word there. The dive bomb from that Hawk knocks it down, and
he's got a full Moon Shard now. He does a lot of damage, but the caveat is he able to right-click? And they see it. Perfect. Fireflight, they need the Ava, though.
Get it. Pingu thrown up in the air by the Yule, so we can't go for the relocate. They found the kill. Now Pingu, he's just trapped in the middle of this. The toss comes through. They'll find him as well, but DNM coming in. There's that Wukong's command being deployed. RDO's going to pop the BKB. He's got to get out with the Roar. Going to prevent him from doing so. Gardic needs that Force Staff. Hasn't thrown it out yet. There it is. RDO's going to be able to get out, but the Hex from Giant's still in there. Deafening Blast, though, does come through. That keeps DNM away. They put him under with the Nightmare as well, but RDO is still in trouble. Lotus Orb is going to be able to reflect that stun, but it can't reflect that Finger of Death. He'll be taken down now. They do get the lasso onto Analog, forcing him into the fight. And 4Gringos are going to be able to just clean house here. Vitali will get knocked back onto the low ground by the Flame Break. He is dead, and buybacks are not in a fantastic spot.
Even when they were backing off of that mid-rax, it was because of Grip coming back off cooldown, as well as the Tiny.
Oh.
If they get this high ground...
This is massive. They jump in. They've got Vitali. They stun him up. They're going to get the last one to RDO as well. There's no one to save him, but there's the Ascetic Scap coming into play. The BKB is activated, but he just can't live long enough. RDO's dead. Vitali's gone as well, and this is just going to be really an absolute massacre. Gardic is dead, and that's it. Whoa.
The only thing they could have done there is hold the high ground. They hold the high ground, they try to get the ward, Pingu immediately puts an obs up there, it becomes a fight for the vision, and Hokori have to spend so much. You look at all their heroes, they're dying with all of their ultimates more or less, they weren't able to get that perfect fight for them.
Yeah, if they can get that level 6, if they can rotate down, and especially if they could somehow get in a window before RDO hits his Battle Trance. I don't think that's going to happen, but it could still work to their advantage even if the Battle Trance is there. Valky could hit him up with a Silence before he gets the chance to pop it, but right now Valky, he's actually just got to try and get away himself, but that homing missile is really going to lock him down, and he's going to get rooted as well. RDO with the RNG on his side, they'll find that kill, and well, his support was unfortunately away from the fight, but they are looking for that engagement mid. They're jumping in onto Analog. Both supports come in, but look at the shackle from El Misho, locking Pingu and Kits together. Giant is now dropping low as Analog is going to be able to throw the tree back to get the kill onto him. Pops the Fairy Fire as well to survive the last bit of damage coming out, but the Flame Break is still there from Kits, so they will find that kill, and now El Misho might want to clear out a little bit. Pingu, though, is the one taking tower shots. He's okay. He's just straight up dead. I'm not sure he realized he had the aggro until it was a little bit too late there, but we do see them trying to make a rotation down bot. The thing is, they used the lasso now mid, so they don't really have that tool, and they're already getting jumped in on. Valky's dropping low. RDO's going to be able to take him down. The Roland comes in for the stun. Pingu now pushes forward with the Starbreaker, and RDO already used the Battle Trance for the kill, so he's not able to get away, and that is a much more favorable trade there. They do lose their offlaner, but they'll find the kill. But up top, Analog making a rotation of his own. In onto DNM alongside Vitali. They pop the Ravage into the Avatos combo, and that is going to be the Slark picked off, and now some damage onto the Tier 1 tower with the Siege Creep. For now, at least, it's been a little rare to see them doing too much in terms of getting involved in these fights, as we see quite a few heroes making their way down bot. Gardic and El Misho are already here. You do have the Tiny coming in, but they need to be able to keep DNM here long enough for Analog to make the play. The Blink comes in. There's going to be the Avalanche into the toss, into the power shot.
Ooh. Where, again, your Slark is not the best tower hitter, neither is your Batrider, and it just feels like Hokori are running away with this match a little bit, but nice lasso.
They need the follow-up damage, though. Here comes Giant rolling in. DNM wants into the fight as well, but at this point, their focus is way too split right now. If they want Analog, they've got to go in for him. The Ravage does come through, though, so Kits will fall. They get Analog, but it costs them Pingu in exchange. It's 2 for 1 so far, but they're still looking for the fight. El Misho, however, with that focus fire, is really just hammering away with the damage. DNM has to fall back, which leaves Giant really just alone in the middle of 3. El Misho will take him down, and that is too expensive. After losing game 1 and after that lengthy break in between matches, they are not messing around here early. 7k net worth lead, and Pingu's now been caught out mid. El Micho, though, as well as he's been playing, he do not have the damage to do this by himself, but he's not going to be by himself for too long. Vitaly and Analog are trying to make their way in. Pigpull is being used to get Vitaly into position. The Solar Guardian, though, was deployed, but it's not really going to matter. Pingu could not get himself out of that in time, and now the TP from Kits is canceled by that Shackle shot. And realistically speaking, he has nowhere to go. He just has to sit in the middle of all of this. He's trying to make a break for it, but the Firefly will wear out, and Ardio's going to pick him off, and they find that kill right by the Roche Pit.
Could be relatively isolated, but he is simply not. If Kits isn't careful here, El Micho is perfectly scouting out, and they see him.
There's a Shackle locking him down. Ardio's going to try to find a way through the trees, looking for the kill. There's going to be the Battle Trance activated, and Kits going to get rooted up. Giant trying to roll in, but he rolls directly into El Micho, who's going to just sort of block his path, and they get cleaned up. Kits falls, Giant dead as well, and Hokori, they're just not missing a beat right now. Ardio finds those kills and then goes right back onto the tower.
It really is all or nothing, I think, when it comes down to it. It's BKB, it's getting one more item on DNM, and then finding the fight. And, well, unfortunately for Valkyrie, everyone's here already.
Down once again. They catch him sort of just trying to creep cut.
That's where, okay, here they go.
DNM gets taken down right away. They do have multiple heroes in on the Analog. They are going to hook up with the lasso, but there's going to be the Ravage connecting onto everybody. El Micho coming in now with the focus fire. They're going to take down Giant. Analog does eventually fall, though, so that is a lot of that damage being taken away, but you see that lineup for 4Gringos. They're still just getting pushed back, and Valky may not actually make it. The power shot is going to finish him off, and
anybody else either doesn't matter or is incapable of dying, and they're going to try for Vitaly, but they shouldn't. They should just give up on this play right now. And yeah, they do.
Trying to ignore him, looking to push into the river instead, but that is going to run them into RDO. They're looking for the kill into Gardic first, though, and they may be able to get it, so the Gyrocopter will fall, but I don't know. Once these BKBs wear off, things are going to get a little bit rough for them. El Micho now pushing in, and yep, that's where things turn around. Giant goes down, Valky dead, Kits will go down as well, and Pingu, well, maybe he can make it out. El Micho's looking for the Shackle. Never mind. Analog's in there first with the Avatos. There's the Shackle to follow it up, and Pingu will be taken down.
And the wave is right here. Roche is going to be responding in a minute. DNM's going for the split push play, trying to cut their wave, but it honestly doesn't feel like it's going to be enough. That was a good try, but when Kits has to pop his BKB as early as he was forced to, even if you make it back towards your vision that even Hokori didn't care about. They just were like, okay, sure, you have that ward up there, but we're just going to walk away from it, walk around it. You just lose the fight immediately. And this is at least going to be 2 racks without any contention. But the bigger issue is, yeah, the game's over. That's the big problem. It's a smart decision, though. I don't think they had a path back in here.
Just getting hit hard so early on and really not having any sort of response. They were just constantly getting battered around, and you see the results. At a certain point,
that's where, as long as you're able to get a decent amount of XP, it should be fine. I'm surprised Giant has taken as much levels as he has, and unfortunately,
yeah, he does. Okay. Just puts El Micho under with the Nightmare, and then right-clicks him to death. Now Vitaly's in some trouble as well. The Brain Staff is going to drop him low, and the DNM with the Shrapnel does the rest, so
I think he might want to adopt a more farm-oriented style, but here's bottom.
TPing his way bot, looking to help out onto RDO. RDO, well, he has the ult now. He doesn't have the mana for it. He could pop the stick, but he's stunned up, so he can't go for it. Spear stun into Bound the Strike keeps him locked down. Kits gets the kill, and now Gardic is really just not going to be able to do a whole lot here, or maybe he can. The stun comes out, but the spear, yeah. Spear comes in from Valky on the back end. Kits is able to find the kill. It's a double for the Monkey. Could continue to push out that top lane, be that sort of split pushing menace. Could see him start making rotations, looking for the fight. Speaking of fights, though, Gardic gonna get hit up down bot, but that spear actually didn't latch onto anything. He gets pushed back, sure, but not gonna be able to be taken down. Now El Micho and Analog look for the return play, and Valky will be taken down.
Seeing so much damage.
Alex is going to put him in some trouble. Look at the mass TPs, though, coming in, and they actually caught Analog with the Fiend's Grip, but do they have the damage? They should. Boundless. There it is. Okay. Giant gets the kill with the Illuminate. They still lost Valky, though. Gardic was able to get him with the DOT from that Maledict. You lose your Mars, and you lost your Tier 2 tower as well, so you're still having that toll extracted from you. in a lot of these circumstances as DNM gets hit by the shackle. How much do they have? Well, the Death Ward certainly going to help out. Power Shot comes through as well. The Roar now going to be deployed onto Kits, but DNM will be put under by the Nightmare. I think that Maledict, though, still ticks him down. Yeah.
That was a really early Nightmare. They got more, though.
They're still fighting. El Misho gonna get hit up here. He's gonna go for, well, Shackle and Power Shot. Neither one's really gonna help him as Giant does take him down, but look at Vitaly and Gartic. They're still pushing forward like they want it because Analog's back in. There's gonna be the Avalanche into the toss. They've caught out Valky. They're trying to bring him down before he can really get any sort of saving play out from his teammate. Kits, though, did drop the Wukongs, and that was, at least for a moment, looking like it might be enough, but RDO simply switches over to the range set and will be able to find the kill. So they lose 2 of their cores, and now Hokori, they're sort of angling like they want to go in for Roshan. Hokori, they may not have the Aegis anymore, but they are still looking strong. They want in, and they've got Pingu right off the bat. He is dead immediately, and Valky, okay, he does drop down the arena, but the Roar is actually still going to be deployed onto him. He gets pushed as well on the backside by the Wind Ranger, and he's just not in a great spot here. Valky will be taken down. Meanwhile, DNM is really not sitting in a perfect spot either. He has no real way to keep that separation. His Analog quite literally tosses a teammate at him. Giant and DNM will both fall. And now Valky, he's fought back, but he already used the arena on the first play, and yeah, this is just all going to hell. Pingu and Kits both taken down. Valky may very well end up dying a second time as he gets tossed back into the fight. The Spear Stun locks Vitaly down, but that's not the hero you needed to be worried about, as that is 6 kills for Hokori at the cost of El Misho, and that is it.
Yeah, they thought they could take the fight there, especially with the buyback on Pingu, but there was just no damage. They weren't able to stack the arena on top of the Coliseum, and really, without that, you're losing all of your damage, as well as El Misho doing such a good job hounding DNM, and without BKB, the Sniper really can't afford to be up and on. They just call it.
All right.
Okay, they're sick of this game. Wow.
I mean, the frustration's understandable. We were all sort of dealing with it as well, with that massive delay in between, and honestly, I thought this game was maybe a little bit more salvageable for them compared to the relatively quick GG we saw from them in Game 2 as well.